So I think you're right that there is too much power from outside groups, industry groups, whether it could be fossil fuel groups, union groups, have a lot of power with PACs. Do you think there's a way for us to reform campaign finance laws to prevent this influence, this outside influence?
Actually, I don't actually believe it's on the campaign finance side. Because for a lot of these groups, it's not the check they write. It's maybe the populations they're able to deliver. I mean, to give you an idea, a great perversity, the infrastructure bill. Okay, so there's this piece of legislation. Hey, they're touting it's going to help the supply chain, even though only a fraction of the spending actually went to roads and bridges. And then they slip in language in there saying the ports can't automate. So you have a world where, being from the West, being from Arizona, we just had the first successful autonomous truck move goods with no driver, and dealing with, because we have this demographic trucker shortage and the concept of that automation. But because the union group at the pier was so powerful, the Democrats slipped in saying you can't automate. We're going to give you a bunch of money for some green things, but we won't let you adopt technology like Singapore and so much of the rest of the world to move these containers off more efficiently. Is that because of money? Is that because they deliver votes? My solution would be a much more, you don't drop a multi-thousand-page piece of legislation with hidden little things like that in it that no one finds out until 6 weeks later. In some ways, it's sunshine, it's information theory solves the problem. If the public knew what frauds were being put in these pieces of legislation, I think that would actually be the pressure point to stop the sort of special interest giveaways if they were exposed. And you and I had an earlier conversation. What you're doing is wonderful here. I think it's also why some of the floor speeches that you've been very kind to me putting up, where you're walking through the details, all of a sudden we're getting millions of people looking at it. There is a hunger for actual facts instead of just sort of salacious, hyperbolic language. Instead, I think the public's ready to understand the scam that so many of these pieces of legislation are.
I think that people are interested in that, but one of the issues is that these salacious, like you were saying, comments are the ones that are attracting more attention. So how do we break through? And I think it's an issue on both sides where more inflammatory remarks are the ones that people are attracted to.
Well, and that's where that's different than the campaign finance side. There's a human nature side, and this one I don't have a good solution for. You become a member of Congress. You're willing to say crazy stuff. You're going to get boatloads of people go online and send you $50. We actually have a world right now that incentivizes disharmony. And it's not only at our level, it's take a look at what's on cable television. Cable television is about viewer retention, not about giving you news. The blogs you choose to log into, you're often looking for reaffirmation of your belief systems. What you watch on YouTube or Facebook is reaffirmation of your current belief system. You're not trying to get educated. You're trying to almost have people tell you what you know is right. And when someone says something that's outlandish but gets your emotions going, you send them money. This is more of a societal thing, and I don't have a brilliant solution because it's down to the public and what we consume as news-wise, what the media actually puts out as news to be able to survive economically, because it's a tough world out there. How many publications won't do certain types of articles because they're fearful of offending their base readership or their base subscribers or those things? So they stick with things that keep them economically solvent. and I'm not sure what the solution there is. That's one of the reasons I've so focused on disruptive technology, because at this moment, no one has made it. Is that flu kazoo we talked about, is that Republican or Democrat? It's neither. It's technology. It's just disruptive. Now, eventually we'll take sides and we'll make it partisan. But for right now, what it is, it's hopeful that there is a path that makes our lives better, that actually takes on some of our biggest problems, particularly that debt.